So tonight with working with the heart chakra, anahata, opening up the heart space and doing these back bends, option to find supported fish pose. So this is a really cool posture, and you can take it with 2 blocks, or if you have a bolster, a big kind of long pillow, or you can even take a blanket and kind of roll it up and kind of make it into this long shape and put it vertical with your mat, kind of in line with the mat. So you can put it that way, or I like to take it sometimes with 2 blocks. So what you're gonna do is, if you want, you don't have to do this, you can just lay on your back too, but you're gonna create like a T shape with your blocks. So this first block that's closest kind of to you will be for your spine, and then the top block will kind of be for the back of the head. And this is the medium height, which can be a lot. Option to move to the lowest height as well. So your spine is going to lay on that first block, the head is going to rest on the second block, and you want your glutes to be on the ground. So you don't want the pelvis to be lifted. So I'll kind of show this as best as I can. This will kind of force the shoulders to relax back. So you're gonna kind of place that block right along the spine, and then place the top block right underneath the head. Okay, so I'm in this back bend position, the shoulders are kind of forced to roll back, and the heart is lifted, the heart is open. So you can do it this way if you have a bolster or a blanket and you roll it up. Same thing, you'll just let that bolster kind of run from the crown of the head kind of towards the low back, and just lay on it to allow the shoulders to roll down, and letting the heart open up. We won't be here too long, but at any point you can always come out, or if this doesn't feel good, just find a nice position on your back. So go ahead, make your way into your position, whether it's supported fish or whether it's just a supine position. And to check in if this doesn't feel right in supported fish pose, make sure to adjust. But you want to find a spot where the shoulders are relaxed back, creating space between the shoulders and the ears, and the heart is lifted but also supported. And then if you are in that position of fish pose, or even laying on the back, any variation of the legs can come out wide, or you can bring the soles of the feet together, butterfly pose, find the openness in the inner thighs, the hips, or find the opposite, constructive rest pose, knees together, feet out wide. And then start to settle in. Maybe open and close the mouth, relax through the jaw. And then when you're ready, feel free to start to connect with the breath. Just starting to feel that nice rise and fall of the chest, of the belly. As you inhale, you can take it through the nose, maybe start to feel the chest, maybe the belly start to rise. And then as you exhale, start to feel the chest, the belly start to soften. And if you are in supported fish, you might not be able to take these full inhales and full exhales. So just take some time here to just connect with the breath. No need to change it. Just see where the breath is at. And then the option to stay here with the breath, letting the breath be your focal point, or maybe start to connect with the heart chakra, anahata. The heart chakra is the heart, the center of the chest. It's associated with the color green, or it can also be associated with the color pink. So if you like colors, maybe start to feel that bright green or bright pink color at the heart. And the heart chakra is the gateway to your soul. It's where gratitude, compassion, patience, acceptance, joy, and love resides. When you are anchored in a place of unconditional love for yourself, your heart chakra vibrates, which will be radiant and begin to heal not only your physical body, but also the bodies of every being everywhere, especially those to whom you are connected to. So tonight, as you practice, feel free to connect with the heart chakra, Anahata, and feel this place of gratitude, of love, of compassion, of joy. And if you would like, you can always set an intention, a positive affirmation statement. Nothing comes up, I offer up the statement of I am loved. So feel free to set your focal point, whether it's the breath, the color, the statement, or anything else that settles with you tonight. Feel free to place it at the third eye, the space between the eyebrows. Hold it there, come back to it whenever you need to. And then take a deep inhale in through the nose. Start to fill up with love, with compassion, with joy for yourself. And then big open mouth exhale, share it off, send it to someone who may need it. One more big inhale, fill up. Maybe hold the breath at the top. And then open mouth exhale, side out, so let it go. And then letting your breath come back to that normal rhythm, normal pace. And then if you are in a supported fish pose, slowly start to roll to one side. Place the blocks, the blanket, the bolsters off to the side. And then come back onto the back. And this is a back bend supported fish pose. So just take some time here to allow the spine to come back to neutral. So maybe bend the legs, kind of sway the knees side to side. And then you can start to make those movements a little bigger, letting the knees fall to the right and then to the left. And then bringing the knees back to center. Bring the feet together, the knees together. Maybe cactus the arms up overhead or bring the arms out to a side like a T. And then let the hips kind of slide to the right, knees to the left. Find gentle twist. So just holding here, maybe left hand to the outer right thigh, gaze can be up, or see how it feels to maybe let the chin fall towards the right side. And then eyes can be open, they can be closed. But finding a spot here that feels good on the right side of the spine. You can always place supports, pillows, blankets underneath the left thigh, bringing the ground closer to you. And don't worry if the right shoulder is nowhere near the ground. Find a spot that feels good. And we'll take 2 more rounds of breath here. And take one more deep inhale. Maybe feel the spine growing a little bit taller. Gently twist, rinsing it out, letting it go as you exhale. And then slowly coming back to center, let the knees fall to the right, maybe slide the hips to the left, find gentle twists. Right hand can always come to the outer thigh, kind of acting like a weight. But find a spot that feels good. No worries if the knee, the left shoulder do not touch the ground. Gaze can always be up or chin can fall to the left. And then coming back to your focal point, maybe visualizing that green ball of light, of energy at the heart, and expanding, sending love, compassion to every inch of your body. Try to relax the face, the jaw. 2 more rounds of breath. And then as you inhale, maybe find a little more space between the vertebrae. Exhale, gently twist, giving the body, the mind permission to let go. And then when you're ready, slowly coming back to center, maybe knees to the chest. And draw the knees in, give the legs a nice hug, a nice squeeze. And then option to release, full body stretch, reach the arms, the legs up overhead. Maybe take some wiggles. And if the arms being up overhead doesn't feel great in the shoulders tonight, you can always place them off to the side. And then you can stay here or banana pose. So you can start to walk your feet to the left, maybe cross the right ankle on top of the left, and then arms can gently reach up and over to the left as well. Maybe left hand reaches for the right wrist, and you add a little bit of resistance, a little tug. But finding a spot where you can breathe into the right side of your body. So as the arms, the legs gently reach to the left, maybe the right hip reaches towards the right. But try not to, arch the low back. Try not to pinch, pull from any part of the spine. We'll take one more round of breath here. Big inhale. Gently reach up and over as you exhale. And then when you're ready, slowly release. Take it to the other side, banana pose. Walk your feet, your legs over towards the right. Maybe cross the left ankle on top of the right. And then you can always just reach the arms to the right side. Or maybe right hand reaches for the left wrist and start to reach up and then over towards the right. And no need to force this, just find a little tug, a little resistance reaching towards the right as the hips kind of draw to the left. And then take one more big inhale. Gently reach up and over as you exhale. And then slowly release. Maybe bring the knees back to chest or take another full body stretch, whatever feels best here. Let banana pose go. And before we get off our backs, let's take figure 4. So left foot to the ground, cross the edge of the right foot to the top of the left thigh. Keep the right foot flexed and then gently draw the right knee away. See how this feels. See how the right glute, the right hip is doing tonight. Hang out. Can always float the left foot off the ground. Maybe place a block underneath the left foot. Left foot can always come to the wall or interlace the fingers behind the thigh. Try to find a spot where the shoulders are relaxed, where you can breathe into the right hip, the right glute. Even might feel good to find some movements here, kind of rocking side to side. Two more rounds of breath. If the mind is off wandering, no worries. Just acknowledge that and then see if you can bring it back. And then take one more big inhale. Send the breath to any areas of tightness as you exhale. And then when you're ready, slowly release. Same thing, other side, figure 4. Right foot can start on the ground, cross the edge of your left foot to the top of the thigh. Keep the left foot flexed and then gently draw the left knee away. So this side may feel different. Just see how the left hip, the left glute feels. You can always hang out here or maybe float the right foot. You can always place your foot on a block or the wall, or maybe interlace the fingers behind the thigh. But finding a spot where you can still lengthen out the left hip, but also relax the shoulders. So yoga is a lot about finding that balance, not over gripping, forcing, but also not too passive to relax. You find some movements, gently rocking the hips, or hang out in stillness. Take one more big inhale. Breathe into the left side as you exhale. And then you can stay here or slowly release. Maybe one more full body stretch or knees to the chest. Whatever feels best here, wiggle it out. And then we're going to meet in a seated position to start. So maybe you can rock forward and back here. Or roll to one side. Start to press yourself up to a seat. And you can cross the ankles, sit on the shins, whatever feels best. And then just holding here to start. Ground down through the sit bones. Draw the belly in and then start to soften the shoulders back. Seeing if you can keep space between the shoulders and the ears. And then you can stay here or start to inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Eagle arms. Right arm underneath the left, crossing at the elbows. Maybe give yourself a hug, grabbing for opposite shoulders. Or you can explore, maybe your right hand kind of grabs for the left forearm, the left wrist. But wherever you're at, see if you can draw the elbows, towards the front, creating space between the shoulder blades. So, the heart chakra is not only the front of the body, but also the back of the body. So see if you can create space here, where the back of the heart, the back of the lungs, the back of the chest would be. And then you can stay here or take an inhale, maybe lift the arms, lift the gaze, little back bend. And then as you exhale, cat back, draw the elbows towards the belly, chin can come towards the chest. And then holding here to start, draw the chin towards the chest, really send the heart towards the back. Breathe into the upper back here. You can explore sending the right ear towards the right side, maybe chin back to the chest and left ear to the left side, kind of taking some half circles, seeing what feels best here in the neck and the upper back. And then slowly chin back towards the center. Flowing cat-cow. As you inhale, gently lift the arms, the gaze, maybe looking up. And then as you exhale, elbows pull back in, finding your cat back, start to round the spine. And then inhale, reach the arms up overhead, maybe send the gaze up. And then last time, exhale, cat, draw the elbows in, start to round the spine. And then slowly inhale, unwind, reach the arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, release, arms to the ground, and take some movement here. Kind of walk the hands forward, kind of going side to side here, seeing, how the hips feel. Don't worry though if the forehead doesn't touch the ground. And then when you're ready, slowly coming back up. And then if you are seated cross-legged, maybe switch, the opposite way the ankles are crossed, finding maybe the awkward position. Belly in, shoulders down the spine to start. And then other side. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, eagle arms, left arm underneath the right, crossing at elbows, maybe grab for shoulders. Or, maybe start to kind of take the left hand and reach for the right forearm. But wherever you're at, see if you can draw the elbows forward. So, the shoulder blades will draw away from the spine. And then you can stay here or take an inhale, little back bend. And then as you exhale, cat. Holding here, elbows can gently pull towards the belly, but really focusing on the chin towards the chest. So seeing how that feels in the back of the neck, maybe taking some half circles, left ear to the left, right ear to the right, holding wherever it feels best. But really think about pressing your heart towards the wall behind you. You can always explore here as well, finding any variation that feels best. And then chin can come back towards the chest. Flowing cat-cow, 2 rounds. Inhale, lift the arms, the gaze, maybe a little back bend. Exhale, cat back, elbows can draw in, rounding the spine. Inhale, gently lift up. Belly can reach forward. Exhale, cat back, pull the elbows in. And then this time, inhale, unwind the arms, reach them up overhead. One more time, hands to the ground, maybe kind of sway side to side, maybe walk to the left, to the right. Allowing the upper body to be heavy, breathing into the outer hips. And then slowly walking the hands back up. And then let's come into tabletop. Feel free to grab a blanket. You can always place it underneath the knees. And once in tabletop position, maybe sway the hips side to side, kind of weighing the tail. You can always take some circle shapes here. Go one way, go the other. Start to open and close the mouth. And then you can stay here or coming into heart melting pose on a Hatha Asana. So really specific here to the heart. So different than child's pose. See if you can keep the hips on top of the knees, and you don't have to go far here, but just start to walk the hands forward. So you can walk the hands forward, hips on top of the knees, kind of letting the forehead slowly start to draw towards the ground. Okay? So, breathing into the shoulders, breathing into the spine as you find this back bend. And you can explore here, hang out. Maybe forehead starts to draw to the ground. Maybe one day forehead meets the ground, but not the point of the posture. Find a spot that feels good. And then you can stay here, maybe even kind of lift up onto the fingertips, starting to lift through the elbows, the wrists even more, really finding space to let the heart melt down to the earth. And if this doesn't feel right tonight, no need to do it. You can always take child's pose. Find a position that feels best tonight. Making sure to breathe here. Take a deep inhale. Letting the heart be nice and heavy as you exhale. And then slowly releasing, walking the hands back forward. And kind of shake it out. Beautiful job. And we're going to kind of give the arms a break, and let's move on to the legs. So we're going to come into lizard lunge, right? So the right foot's going to step forward outside of the right hand. So you can always start to, draw the knee towards the right elbow. Maybe kind of lift up off the right hand to find space to kind of slide the right foot towards the top of your mat. Great place here to use your blocks. Or if you have a chair, you can always place your hands on the seat of the chair. And then let's just start to explore the hips and the hamstrings a little bit here. So you can let the pelvis be heavy, maybe start to lift the heart, finding a little back bend here, breathing into the left psoas. And then as you exhale, send the hips back, half split, starting to straighten through the right leg. So just finding some nice organic movements here. You can even kind of sway side to side through the pelvis, seeing what feels right tonight, but also feel free to go at your own pace. Maybe you need to go a little bit faster tonight. Maybe you need to slow it down. We'll take about 3 more rounds of breath here. Coming back to your focal points, back to the breath, back to the heart chakra, anahata, that bright green light of energy at the center of our chest, of our heart. One more round of breath. And then you can stick with the movement or option to hold lizard lunge. So coming back forward, plant the palms on the ground, or they can stay in your blocks too, it doesn't matter. But find a spot where you can maybe find a little more space in the hip and the left psoas, the muscle in front of the hip. Now you can always stay here. Maybe explore coming onto the forearms, to the blocks or to the ground, but still trying to keep the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe wiggle out the jaw, soften through the face, soften the fingertips. And then know that you can stay here. Right knee stays behind the right toes, or maybe roll to the edge of the right foot, finding a little more space in the hip if that feels right tonight. Keeping the right foot flexed so you're not rolling in the ankle. Make sure the shoulders are not creeping towards the ears here. 2 more rounds of breath. And then feel free to stay here or option to take it into half splits. So this is a great time to use those blocks or your chair. We're starting to lift up, send the hips back, straightening through the right leg. All right, so try to keep the hips on top of the left knee. So you might need to slide the right heel forward, and then you can flex through the right toes. And I'm going to give you some options. Do what feels best here. So first, see if you can focus on sending the right hip straight back. So kind of dragging the right heel towards the back wall. See how that feels in the right hamstring, the back of the right leg. So you can hang out here with the hamstring stretch, or maybe you play with the hip. You can start to wave your right foot side to side. So turning your right toes to the right. Toes point back towards the ceiling, and then turning your toes to the left. So that's going to work more rotation of the right hip. Wherever you're at, try to soften the shoulders. Relax the jaw, the fingertips. Remember, always keep a bend in the right knee as much as you need it. No need to force the hamstring stretch or the rotation of the right hip. Last 2 rounds of breath. And take one more deep inhale. Think about the crown of the head reaching towards the front. Stay here, or maybe bend at the elbows, fold as you exhale. And then whenever you're ready, coming back forward, bending into the right leg, blocks, props can go off to the side. And then back to tabletop, and then into child's pose. So starting to bring that right leg back behind you, find any movements. And then Balasana, child's pose, knees can go wide, big toes to touch, send the hips back. Child's pose doesn't feel right tonight, you can always come to a seat. You can always place blankets, pillows underneath you, or just keep the hips lifted. We'll take about 5 rounds of breath here, letting the forehead hover, or maybe letting the forehead rest on your fists, your forearms, or a block. Try to relax the face, the jaw. See if you can let the heart be heavy. And then see if you can come back to your focal point, back to the breath, back to that bright green light pulsing at the heart, filling you up with love, with kindness, compassion, with joy. And then maybe coming back to your affirmation statements. I am loved. Take a deep inhale, fill up. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. And feel free to stay here, or when you're ready, you can slowly come back up. Place anything off to the side. And before we do the left side, let's thread the needle on the right. So from tabletop position, your right hand can lift as high as you want. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, right arm underneath the left, gently roll to the right side. So right side of your face can rest on the ground, maybe a pillow. Start to press the back of the right arm down, and then gently lift the heart. So you might find a really, big line of space from the middle of the back all the way to the back of the right arm to the fingertips. You can always play with the left arm, wrap it behind you. Maybe play with the left leg, extend it long, lift it, whatever feels best tonight. Trying to keep the breath nice and slow, nice and long here. Take a deep inhale, fill up. Maybe gently lift the heart, finding the twist as you exhale. And then slowly release, left hand back to the ground. Start to reach the right fingertips high. And then release back to tabletop. We'll take it right away on the left side. So inhale, reach the left arm high. Exhale, thread the needle. Left arm underneath the right, gently roll to the left side. Just making sure the left side of your face, is grounded down, not placing any pressure on the neck, the cervical spine. And start to press the back of the left arm down to gently lift the heart. Any variation with the right arm, the right leg You can always work the bind with the right arm or extend the right leg long. But finding a spot that feels good. Breathing into the back of the left arm, the shoulder, and all the way into the upper back and into the spine. And then take one more big inhale. Gently twist as you exhale. And when you're ready, slowly release. Right hand can come to the ground. Start to lift the left arm high. And then when you're ready, release. Come back to tabletop. And then we'll do the same thing on the left side. So coming back to the hips and the hamstrings. So the left leg is going to come forward to the outer edge of the mat to the left side. So you can kind of lift the left knee, lift the left hand, start to kind of walk the left foot forward, maybe slide it forward. Do what you need to do to bring your left foot to the outside of the mat, to the outside of the left hand. Great place to place your hands on blocks or maybe to a chair. And then see what feels good here. See what the left hip is craving. You can let the pelvis be heavy, find a little back bend, start to lift the heart. Breathe into the right psoas. And then as you exhale, half splits, bump the hips back, starting to straighten through the left leg. So just finding some movement here. You can go forward and back. You can go side to side. Kind of giving the body permission to play. And we're finding some joy here on the mat. Letting the body explore, seeing what feels good. We'll take 2 more rounds. Take your time, no rush. And then you can stick with the movement or option to hold lizard lunge. So coming back forward, bending into the left leg, left knee behind the toes. And you can always place your hands on the ground or keep your hands on the blocks. Now see how this feels, letting the pelvis be heavy. Or you can always explore maybe kind of lowering the upper body even more, maybe forearms to the block or to the ground. Check in with those tension areas. Try to relax the fingers, soften the shoulders away from the ears, relax the jaw. And then you can always explore, kind of rolling to the edge of the left foot, seeing how that feels, but making sure you're not relaxing the foot and kind of rolling in the ankle. Keep the left toes kind of slightly flexed. Two more rounds of breath here. Stay for as long as you need to. And then option to stay here in lizard lunge, or you can send the hips back into half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. Starting to straighten through the left leg. Keep the hips on top of the right knee. So you're going to go too far back here. And you want to think about the hips being in line with one another. So you can start to draw the left hip back. See how that might change the stretch in the left hamstring. And remember, always feel free to bend into the left leg as much as you need it. And just focus on the left heel, the left hip pressing back. And then you can stay here and enjoy the hamstring stretch, or maybe play with hip rotation. Starting to wave your left foot side to side. Turn the toes to the left, and then toes to the right. Last 2 rounds of breath. Awesome work, everyone. See if you can come back to the breath here, bringing the mind back to the body, back to the present moment. And then whenever you're ready, take your time, slowly start to release, bending back into the left leg. Make your way to tabletop. We'll meet in child's pose if that feels best. Sliding the left foot back behind you. Knees can go wide, big toes to touch, send the hips back. And once again, 5 more rounds of breath here. You can relax, or maybe walk the hands forward, side to side, but allowing the heart to be heavy here. So kind of finding a slight back bend, letting the chest, the heart melt towards the earth. And try to relax through the face, through the jaw. As you inhale, send the breath to the back of the body, the back of the lungs. Feel the spine start to rise. And then as you exhale, start to soften. Feel the heart draw towards the earth. One more big inhale. Feel the back body rise. Slow exhale. Feel the heart soften. Let it go. And then you can stay, or when you're ready, slowly coming forward and back to tabletop. And then option for downward facing dog. So you can stay here. And two, you can always explore down dog with blocks, especially if you have really sturdy blocks or blocks that aren't going to move. But lifting the hands on the blocks is going to give you a little more space. So you can always explore that or hang out on tabletop as well. But in down dog, feel free to find movements here, pedaling out the legs, sway the hips. But wherever you're at, whether you're in tabletop or downward dog, keep the hands active. Grip the fingertips down, rooting down through the palms of the hands. But you want to think about shifting the weight to the shoulders and to the belly. The shoulders, the core muscles are, helping you stay lifted here as gravity is pulling you down. So, thinking about avoiding placing the weight in the wrist by using your strong shoulders and your core muscles to help you stay lifted. And you can always keep a bend in the legs as much as you need it. Shake the head yes, shake it no. Maybe pedal out the legs. And then take a deep inhale. If you need it, open mouth exhale. And then whenever you're ready, you can walk your hands back to your feet. Option for Ragdoll, nice relaxed forward fold, feet hip width distance, bend the legs, let the chest rest on the thighs. And then you can cross the arms at elbows, maybe sway side to side here. And allowing all the stress to melt off the spine. And then you can stay here, or option for a chest expansion grip. So you can interlace the fingers behind you. If you have a strap or a towel, you can always use that and start to gently lift the knuckles up overhead. Finding some space here in the inner shoulders, the chest, but still keeping a bend in the legs and letting the head relax. And then whenever you're ready, slowly release any grip you have, and then roll yourself up nice and slow, letting the head be heavy, the arms be heavy. And then once you reach the top, you can roll the shoulders up and down. Maybe kind of roll the head and the neck. And if you're not there, you can start to walk yourself to the top of the mats. And then we'll meet in Tadasana mountain pose. So if you can be hip width distance or maybe a little bit closer together, just making sure the feet are underneath the hips. Roll the shoulders up and down, maybe shine the palms forward, but trying to keep space between the shoulders and the ears. And see if you can lift from the arches of the feet, pulling the belly in, finding that strength from within. And then take a deep inhale. Maybe open mouth exhale. And then half Sun Salutations, a little bit different today. Take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And then you can stay here. You can bring your arms to cactus like a goalpost, or even place your hands at the low back. And then as you inhale, start to lift the heart. Stay here, or as you exhale, find a little back bend. So starting to lift the heart towards the sky as you draw the hips forward. Keep the belly pulling in. And then as you inhale, reaching back up, arms up overhead, extended Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, hands can come through hearts. Bend the legs, let the breath come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins or to the blocks. See if you can draw the shoulder blades down the spine. Gaze stay straight down, maybe add a little tuck of the chin. Take a big inhale, pull the belly, the front ribs in. Exhale, forward fold, release. Now keep a little bit in the legs, keep the strong, spine, core muscles are working. Inhale, extended Tadasana, reaching the arms back up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart or off to the side, back to center, reset. Take a breath here, see if you need to adjust. And we'll do that 2 more times just with the breath. So feel free to add the back bend or feel free to skip it. Okay, any variations that feel best. So when you're ready, big inhale, extended Tadasana, reach the arms up overhead. Stay here or exhale, cactus arms or hands to the low back, find a little back bend. Keep the belly pulling in. Inhale, reach the arms back up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, riding the breath all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine, belly in. Exhale, forward fold, release. Keep the belly pulling in, long spine. Inhale, rise, back up, extended Tadasana. Exhale, hands to heart or off to the side. Pull it in, back to center. Take a breath or 2, reset, check in. And then one last time if you want it, feel free to skip. Inhale, extended Tadasana, reach the arms up overhead. Stay here or exhale, find the back bend, keep the belly and lift the heart. Inhale, rise back up, extended Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, ride it down. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine, belly in. Exhale, fold, release. Inhale, rise, coming back up, extended Tadasana, growing tall. Exhale, hands to heart, pull it in. Beautiful. Take an inhale. Soften, let it go as you exhale. And then take some time, slow it down. And then we're gonna, move into warrior 2. So I'm just gonna switch sides. The right foot will be forward, start to step your left foot back. So, adjust the feet here, find any stance that feels best for you. The right toes will point forward, right knee will gently press away. And then make sure you're not locking the left knee. And note too, you can always come onto the left knee and find it kneeling warrior 2 as well, making sure the left toes are pointed straight behind you. So any variation that feels best. And then hands can be at heart, or arms can reach forward and back, finding warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2 arms. If you're in this standing position, know there's a lot of things working. So, driving the inner thighs in to find that strength from, the inner thighs, the pelvis, the core, to help you lift up, to feel supported. Soften the shoulders back, but reach through the fingertips. And then you can stay here, or maybe start to interlace the fingers behind you, finding that chest expansion grip. You can always use a strap or a towel as well, or you can always just kind of grab for opposite elbows behind you. And so if you have this, reaching for opposite elbows behind you, you can see if you're really arching the low back here. See if you can draw the belly in and press the low back towards the forearms. If you have the chest expansion grip, maybe start to draw the knuckles down towards the ground as you kind of lift the chest, but still keep the belly pulling in. Legs are strong, inner thighs are driving in. Awesome job. Take an inhale. Stay for the exhale. Good. Release any grip you have back to warrior 2. And then 5-point star, burst open, right toes will turn in. And then wide-legged forward fold. Start to ride the breath, come all the way down. And you can always take this from a seated position. Find wide-legged forward fold that feels best tonight. You can always bend the right leg, bend the left, finding more space in the inner thigh, the inner hip, finding some side lunges. You can always walk the hands to the right, to the left, whatever feels best. And then you can stay here in this wide-legged forward fold, or start to place your hands underneath your shoulders. And then we're going to turn to the right. So you're going to frame out the right foot, coming into that low lunge position. Start to bend into the right leg. And then you can stay here, or option 2, come onto the left knee again. So left knee can be lifted or grounded. What we're going to do is add the twist today. So option 1, grounded twist, left hand down, right hand high. So stay there if that feels good. Or press the top of the left foot down if the left knee is rooted and start to bring the hands to heart. Okay? And then maybe revolved crescent today. So as you inhale, start to reach the heart forward. As you exhale, twist left elbow towards the outer right thigh. So this might be intense. If that's the case, no worries. You can always release left hand to a block or to the ground and find grounded twist. But if you are in this revolved crescent, use the elbow to thigh connection to lift the heart to the belly off the right thigh. And know that this is going to create some heat in the body. So we won't be here too long. But honor what you need. Gaze can stay down. Take one more big inhale. Gently twist as you exhale. And then when you're ready, slowly release wherever you're at, hands back to the ground. If you need to, tuck the back toes under, lifting the left knee, and then back to your wide-legged forward fold. So you're going to turn to the left, turning the right toes back in. And then hands can come to hips, pull the belly in, slowly rise, come back up. And then we'll take it to the other side. Warrior 2, left toes will point forward. Start to bend into the left knee. So adjust the feet if you need to, making sure you're not locking the right leg, the back knee. And then inner thigh squeeze in, finding Mula Bandha. So bandhas are these energy locks to help you kind of lift up, to find a little more strength here. Hands can always come to heart or reach the arms forward and back. Soften the shoulders, but reach through the fingertips. Take a big inhale. Stay for the exhale. And then you can stay here, or maybe reach for opposite elbows behind you. You can always take that chest expansion grip, interlace the fingers, or grab for a strap. But wherever you're at, see if you're really arching the back and kind of puffing the chest, pushing the belly out. See if you can draw the belly in, but still kind of find a back bend in the upper spine. So the core is working to support the back bend. And then take one more big inhale. Stay for the exhale. Slowly release any grip. Hands can come back to warrior 2. And then 5-point star, burst open, left toes turn in. One more time, wide-legged forward fold. Come all the way down to the ground. So last time you're here, maybe find movement, maybe hang out in some stillness. If you're looking for a little more inner hip work, you can start to find the sumo squat, so heels in, toes out. Maybe keep the hands on the ground and kind of sway side to side. Or you can always bring the forearms to the inner thighs and gently press the knees away. Maybe sway it out, just see how that feels in the hips, the inner thighs. Last 2 rounds of breath here, whatever you need, slow it down. And then if you're in that sumo squat, a horse goddess squat, you can slowly release, come back to your wide-legged forward fold. And then hands come underneath the shoulders. You're going to turn to the left, coming into that low lunge position. So framing out the left foot, and then your choice. You can keep the right knee lifted or feel free to come down to the right knee. So finding a little deeper twist tonight. Option 1, grounded twist, right hand to the block or to the ground, and start to reach the left fingertips high. So the left knee is bent, the left hip is driving back. Or, maybe you start to lift up, press the top of the right foot down if the right knee is grounded, and hands to heart. Find the belly, the core muscles, pull the belly in, lift up, and then hinge forward, take a big inhale. Revolve crescent, right elbow can work towards the outer left thigh. So this is a very deep and can be an advanced posture for a lot of us. So if this doesn't feel right tonight, know that grounded twist is there. But if you are in revolved crescent, See if you're kind of leaning on the left thigh. See if you can lift up. Draw the belly in, find space. And then as you twist, gently send the heart, the chest to the left. Relax the shoulders as best as you can. 2 more rounds of breath. A lot of heat here. 1 more big inhale. Gently twist as you exhale. And then when you're ready, slowly release. Hands can come back to the ground. And then this time, option for down dog or tabletop. Tuck the back toes. You can lift the back knee. Maybe start to slide that left foot off to the side. Step back, tabletop or Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. So wherever you're at, tabletop or down dog, maybe sway the hips, put out the legs, shake the head yes, shake it no. Open and close the mouth. Check in, coming back to the breath, back to the focal point, letting all that stuff go. Take a deep inhale. Maybe open mouth exhale. Good, and then when you're ready, release, option for child's pose, last one. Knees can go wide, big toes to touch, send the hips back. Slow it down here. Maybe let the arms be heavy, or give the shoulders a break, send the fingertips back towards the toes. And then feel free to check in. See if you're holding on to any lingering thoughts, any expectations, any judgment. And see if you can maybe find some kindness, some compassion, maybe some loving thoughts instead. Maybe thanking yourself for showing up tonight, for taking time out of your busy day for yourself, to bring the awareness inward, to be a little more mindful and to let go of those things that don't serve you. Take an inhale, fill up with gratitude, kindness for yourself. Open mouth, exhale, share it off. And then you can stay in child's pose for as long as you want. But when you're ready, you can slowly lift up, maybe grab some water, whatever you need. And then we're going to come on to the back. So if you like supported bridge and you have a block, just make sure it's nearby. But start to come all the way down onto the back. And then you can send the knees to the chest. Feet can be lifted or grounded. Feel free to find some movements here. Sway side to side. Maybe take some circle shapes with the knees. Go one way, go the other. And we're going to take a couple rounds of bridge pose today. Set to Bandha. So if you like supported bridge, you can take supported bridge the whole time. Okay? If you like active bridge, feel free to place your feet to about hip width distance. Maybe fingertips kind of reach or touch the back of the heels. And then when you're ready, start to drive the heels down, start to lift the hips, come high up onto the shoulder blades into bridge. If you want, slide that block underneath you right to the flat part of your spine, your sacrum. But if you are active, see if you can drive the heels down as you start to lift the hips. And then the legs are not going to move, but see if you can squeeze the inner thighs in, but also press the outer thighs out. And you can always kind of walk the shoulder blades underneath you. Maybe one day interlacing the fingers underneath you, really opening up through the chest. So feeling, the muscles on the chest start to separate, opening up the heart, sending blood, oxygen to the heart. Maybe feel a little heat here. And then take one more big inhale. As you exhale, slowly release. And then you can stay here, hips to the ground, or Supta Baddha Kanasana, butterfly pose, soles of the feet together, knees can go wide. Maybe your right hand to the heart, left hand to the belly. Maybe reconnecting with the heart chakra, Anahata. Feeling the heart rate, feeling the heat, feeling that bright green light pulsating from the heart. Try to relax the shoulders away from the ears, soften the jaw. And then you can stay here. Feel free to skip this last round of bridge, or you can grab for the outer thighs, close your legs like a book, and then maybe one more bridge pose. You can always come back to supported bridge or stay in supported bridge. When you're ready, drive the heels down and gently lift the hips. Maybe snug the shoulder blades underneath you, kind of coming onto the backs of the arms as well. Maybe interlacing the fingers underneath you, but finding a spot that feels good here, where you're working the back body and finding some space in the front body. Opening up through the chest, through the heart. Gaze can be straight up. Try to soften the jaw. Last couple rounds of breath. And take one more big inhale, maybe lift the hips a little higher. And then as you exhale, slowly release. And then one more time, Supta Baddha Kanasana, butterfly pose. Soles of the feet come together, knees can go wide. Right hand to heart, left hand to belly. Maybe let the head rock heavy side to side, massaging the back of the skull. Slow the breath down, but also feel the breath, feel the heart. Connecting with what's happening inside. Maybe finding gratitude for all those things that are working behind the scenes to help us stay here. Things that we may take for granted. And then you can stay here, or slowly close the legs, bring the knees together. Constructive rest pose, walk the feet to the outer edges of the mat. Feet can go wide. You can cactus the arms up overhead. Hang out here, breathe into the psoas, the front of the hips, breathe into the low back. Maybe wiggle up the jaw. But allow the low back to be heavy here. Maybe let the head rock heavy, or feel free to explore movements in the knees, sending the knees to the right and then to the left. And then you can stick with these movements going side to side, or option to find the twist. So maybe feet stay separated, or the legs can stay separated, or maybe bring the feet and the knees together and find that gentle twist we took in the beginning of class. Knees to the left, maybe bump the hips to the right. You can always cross the right leg on top, see how that feels. But finding one final twist on this side. Any variation that feels right tonight. Gaze can be up, or chin can gently fall to the right. But same thing, no need to force it. Just allowing gravity to, bring the body down towards the ground, opening up through the right side of the spine. Coming back to your focal points, back to the breath, back to that bright green light at the heart, that ball of energy that's filled with love, acceptance, gratitude, joy, compassion. And then take one more big inhale. Gently twist as you exhale. And then you can stay here for as long as you want. When you're ready, slowly unwind. And then finding our final twist tonight, send the knees to the right, hips to the left. You can find any twist here, legs separated, cross the left leg on top or knees together. Place support, blankets, pillows underneath you where it feels best. And then no need to force it here, just let gravity take over. Allowing the eyes to maybe soften. If you've lost the focal point, no worries. Bring it back. Take a deep inhale. Gently twist as you exhale. Then when you're ready, slowly unwind. Come back to center. Maybe knees to the chest or full body stretch. Any movements that feel good here. And then lastly, we'll take our nice inversions. You can always move to the wall and take legs up the wall, or start to stamp your feet onto the ceiling. If you like the block underneath you, you can always place that block back underneath the low back. Maybe finding some movement here in the legs. You can even reach the arms towards the ceiling or arms up overhead. You know, took some standing postures tonight to kind of work the legs a little bit. So kind of, reversing the flow of the fluids here in the body. Maybe breaking up any blockages in the legs. Just a really great posture to reverse gravity. Always open and close the mouth. Maybe sway the head side to side. And then know that you can stay here, but I'm going to talk you through fish pose. So we took supported fish in the beginning of class. So option to take fish pose here at the end. So one last back bend, kind of opening up the chest. So it's a little awkward, but you can always look at me or listen to me as I kind of talk you through it. So from legs at the wall, make sure you don't have that block underneath you. Arms are going to come to the side, palms underneath. And then the legs are going to come back to the ground. So maybe, bring the legs to the ground, bend the legs, but start to extend the legs back long. So the arms are snugged in close to you. And you're going to start to drive the crown of the head or the back of the skull towards the pelvis as you start to lift the chest. So the elbows are really pressing into the ground, heart is lifted, gaze can go behind you, throat is open. You don't have to go high here. Maybe take a breath or two. And then when you're ready, slowly sliding back down. Taking a breath, letting the heels rock open, maybe flipping the palms face up. So back bends are really energizing. So feel the heart rates. Take a couple deep breaths. So back bends can kind of put us in more that fight or flight stage, which is okay, just a little bit of stress. But know that we want to come back to rest and digest. So kind of finding some flexion here, some forward folding in the body. So maybe draw the knees back to the chest, curl into a ball. Maybe kind of lift the forehead to the knees, gently squeeze it all together. And then whenever you're ready, releasing and coming into Shavasana, corpse pose. Arms and the legs can go long, palms can face up. Maybe snug the shoulder blades back underneath you. But find any position here in the legs and the arms that feels best. And then feel free to, connect with the body once again. Feeling the heels, maybe the edges of the feet rooting down into the ground, into the earth. The backs of the legs, the calves, the thighs. Feeling the glutes, maybe a little bit of the low back, the upper back grounding down. Start to snug the shoulder blades underneath you, finding a little more space between the shoulders and the ears. Feeling maybe the back of the arms, the upper arms, the lower arms, the palms rooting down. And feeling the back of the skull, feeling connected with the earth underneath you, feeling the support. Giving the body permission to soften, to let go. Giving the body permission to find some well-deserved rest. And then taking that rest or carrying that rest up into the mind. Giving the mind permission to let go of thoughts as they come up. Letting the mind connect with your focal point. Giving the mind that one appointed focus, something to concentrate on, to stay here present in this moment with the body. So maybe coming back to the breath, connecting with that rise and the fall of the chest of the belly. Maybe coming back to the Heart Chakra, our heart, to the center of the chest. Coming back to that bright green ball of light, of energy. Connecting with this place of love, of gratitude, of compassion, of joy. And allowing that love and that gratitude to pulsate, to go to every inch, to every cell of the body. Finding love for your body, finding gratitude for this beautiful body that you have. And then maybe sharing that gratitude, that love that you have for yourself with others, with those ones that are connected with you right now. And maybe letting that love, that gratitude go further. Sending it to people you don't know, maybe people you have conflict with right now. And then lastly, sending that love, that gratitude for this earth, for everything it provides us. And then for the next few moments, feel free to stay here in this place of love, of gratitude. Stay here with the focal point. But know if thoughts come up, you can let them go, coming back to the focal point, or even change those thoughts into love and into gratitude. when you are anchored in a place of unconditional love for yourself, your heart chakra, anahata, vibration will radiate and begin to heal not only your physical body, but also the bodies of all being everywhere, especially those to whom you are connected to. If you have extra time, please feel free to stay. But whenever you're ready, slowly start to reawaken. Start to deepen the breath. Maybe wiggle the fingers, the toes. Roll the ankles, the wrists, let the head rock heavy side to side. You can take a nice full body stretch, reach the arms up overhead, send the legs long, take some wiggles. And then maybe send the knees to the chest. Feel free to stay here, or you can rock to your favorite side for fetal pose using the bottom arm as a pillow. Taking time here to reflect, but also taking time for rebirth. And then whenever you're ready, you can gently press yourself up to a seat. Crossing out the ankles, sitting on the shins. Maybe roll the shoulders up and down. Find some gentle movement here. Allow the belly to pull in, growing tall through the crown of the head. Soften the shoulders back. Hands can rest on the thighs, or maybe hands come to heart center. Allow the thumbs to gently press to the heart. One more time, connecting with the heart chakra, anahata. Maybe living more from the heart space. Living with more gratitude, more compassion, more love. And then take time here, remind yourself that you are worthy, you are loved, and you are enough. Take a deep inhale in through the nose, fill up. Open mouth, exhale, share it out. And I thank you all for being here, for sharing your practice. I thank yoga for bringing us together. And from my heart to yours, with so much gratitude, I bow. Thank you, thank you. Beautiful, beautiful work, everyone. Be kind to yourself. Have a great night.